video for about a year or so, or ever since it happened, really. Um, I can't stop laughing because I can't believe that this actually happened to me. Um, as you can see from the title, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't get hired at any Best Buy in New York City anymore because of what I said to this lady. And I'm gonna start the story off by saying, like, it wasn't entirely my fault. It was, it was like a, a series of unfortunate events that led up to this thing happening, right? So boom, I'm at Best Buy, and my friend, he goes like, "Yo, we're hiring at Best Buy. You know, the job is pretty, it's alright, you know, is good money for what you do." And I was like, "I bet. Let me go there." You know what I mean? And since he was my friend already working there, it's a higher chance for me to get hired, right? Granted, if I'm not a dumbass, but that's a big ask. Anyways, he I'm all right, so let me just tell you what I was wearing, right? I was wearing like some pretty business casual things. I was wearing like a button down and then a sweater on top of it, and then like some denim joggers or some shit like that. Like, you couldn't tell they were joggers, but you feel me? Like, they were professional enough to sell the illusion that like I'm here to work. Oh my god, bro. Alright, so I waited like 20 minutes and I'm bored. I get really bored and really fast. So I had to go talk to the people that work there, right? And I wanted to gauge like what's it really like working there, right? From the workers. The people who are hiring are obviously gonna sell you some dream that working here is like exponential. It's like insane. It's like the cream of the crop, right? Like, working here is like you'll be good for life. But I had to ask the people working there on the floor, right? And I could have said this in the interview when she asked the question, but I don't know why. When she asked the question, it just slipped my head entirely. So the question she asked me was, "What's one thing that shows initiative?" And alright, before I tell you what I answered, I want to start off by saying that the interview was already discriminatory, right? Because she checked my birthday and she was like, you're this star sign?" And I was like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" Like, there's no way you're saying that as someone hiring me. I felt some type of way, and that threw me off. That threw me off so bad, because I know I'm not professional, but why are you not professional? You already work here, right? Like, you're getting paid to be professional. The least you could do is, you know, not talk shit about my star sign. Like, what the fuck is that about? Anyways, she said all that and I laughed it off, you know what I mean? But like, when I laugh, my mind goes blank. Like, the only thing I'm chasing when I'm laughing is more laughs. And that could be very destructive, or it could be very like beneficial, depending on the situation I'm in. In this situation, it was highly destructive because I was laughing and I don't know, my neurons, like the wrong neurons fired, and I got a little too comfortable. I got a little too comfortable because she was like, I was like, "Oh, she's making fun of my star sign. This bitch doesn't give a fuck about nothing." And I was like, "Alright, bet." And I was like, I could just be honest with her, like openly honest. I have nothing, I have no reason to hide, right? So I told her, she was like, "What's one thing that shows initiative?" My dumbass, I was thinking, I was like, I really like puzzles, right? Ever since I was a kid, I love puzzles, solving puzzles. If there's something that I don't understand, I attack it until I do, right? Like, from all angles. And I don't know why this was the example that popped into my head. It's because like 2 weeks ago I did it. There was this door in this place. I'm not gonna say where because that would implicate me. But there was this door in this place, very high up, and I wanted to I wanted to open the lock, right? I want to pick lock it because I taught myself how to pick lock. I taught myself how to play chess. I taught myself how to drive a car. You know, I taught myself a lot of things. I taught myself how to pick a lock. So I told her, the person hiring me, I was like, "Yo, there was this one door that I really hated. I discovered it like a week prior, and I would go there every day to try to pick lock it, and I just couldn't open the lock." And I'm telling her all this, by the way, like verbatim. This is me telling you and her the story at the same time. I was like, "Yo, this door is not opening. There's something wrong with the lock, but I know for a fact it wasn't the lock." Come a week later, I don't know, I had like an epiphany. I had a light. I saw a light. I was like, "It's not the lock. It's a magnetic door. It's the magnet holding the lock. So I told her, you're gonna call me a dumbass, which I might have to agree, but this is crazy. Watch this, yo. No, watch this. I have one bullet right here, right after I spam. Look, one bullet, one kill, bro. Blah, fucking Jet, bro. Why is Jet holding so close? What a weirdo. Anyways, I told her, where was I? Yes, I told her that I figured out that that the lock was magnetic. So instead of trying to pick the lock, I discovered that it's not always the lock that's the issue, right? Sometimes it's the things surrounding the lock that's the issue, that's keeping the door closed. And it was very like philosophical. It wasn't meant to be like, you should be scared of me, because I never do anything nefariously, right? I do it for science. Since I was little, I've been curious. It's my first time on this earth, bro. Like, how could you not expect me to be a scientist? I do things like the scientific method. Ever since I learned that, I've applied that to life constantly. Hypothesis, you know what I mean? All that, a whole 9 yards. So I told her I opened the lock, like I unscrewed the fucking magnetic strip, and I cut the wires. I cut all the wires, and the door popped right open. She looked at me like she was so fucking scared, and I was just sitting there with a dumbass smile on my face, because I'm not nefarious, right? Like I was just telling you the truth, and in my head, that's insane initiative. That's insane initiative. You could not hire someone with that initiative. I had a door, which is in this case a problem, right? And instead of just continuously attacking the problem head on, I circumvented it. I found ways, I found angles, to get around the problem. Maybe the door wasn't the best example. I could have said something like a Rubik's Cube or some shit, but again. And the craziest part to me is that I could have said that I chose to speak to the people that were on the floor already before the interview. If that didn't show initiative, I don't know what does. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that what made me say that I picked a lock. Not only did I fail to pick a lock, but I did property damage. And it doesn't sound so nice when I say it, right? Because like, they fixed the door. It's fixed now, right? Like, I went back there. You think I'm not gonna check up on it? Like, I went back on the door. They fixed it. It's perfectly fine. In fact, there's a new system in place, a better, newer magnetic system, which doesn't have the same, like weaknesses as the old one, right? So if anything, I did the place a favor. That's about it. This is the story I wanted to tell for quite some time. I think it was about a year or so, or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that since it happened. And I've been wanting to tell it ever since. And I know for a fact, ever since it happened, this was gonna go on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys listened all the way. I'm glad you guys learned something about my life. Maybe I entertained you. If you did, leave a like if you really were entertained by it. If not, leave a dislike. I don't give a fuck. I don't know why I'm so used to fucking putting outros in the middle of my video, but that wasn't it. My friend came up to me after. He goes like, "What the fuck did you tell her?" And I was like, "What the fuck did I tell her? Like, what is happening? Why am I getting pressed right now?" And he goes like, "She told me you told her some next shit, and you feel me? Like, it's no good." And I was like, "Bruh, what did I even say?" And then it wasn't until, like, he was older than me, right? He was like a couple years older than me. He was 1 or 2 grades ahead. So I was with my classmate in his car, right? We were around the same age. This guy, he goes like, "What did you even say?" So I told him this exact story that I'm telling you right now, and he burst out laughing. He called me a dumbass, and he said, "You should not have said that." And I was like, at first I was confused, but I wasn't really mad about, like, I didn't get hired. I was more mad about the fact that, like, I kind of discredited my friend. Like, she's gonna think like, "What type of friends are you hanging around? This guy's a hoodlum." And I'm like, I'm not even a hoodlum. So I don't know who's gonna watch this video. Like, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed.